for some reason,
Oh,
but we'll make it work.
yes, we'll make it work. Okay.
Well, you should check your
That
shared
works.
screen provision, see if we can get your presentation up.
Okay, yeah, let me see, stop video. Stop video.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Share screen, got you, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, Paula.
Can you
Hey,
guys see my
Paula.
screen?
Give it a minute.
Coming up.
There we
Now I can-
go.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, let me see here.
Yep.
There we go.
Now, what screen are you guys looking at? Is it just my presentation or is it the
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
good.
We have all the people on the call in a tile, but you may want to stop sharing so that we can get started
Okay.
with the
Yes, sorry.
beginning.
Perfect. There
We
you
just
go.
want to make sure you were okay.
Perfect. It stopped sharing now, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, I think we're going to get started. Tracy, if you're ready.
Let's go.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the Black Chamber of Commerce Wednesday Wisdom virtual series. My name is Bruce Lewis. I'm a board member of the Black Chamber and past president, some years gone past. My job is to kind of host this Wednesday Wisdom and introduce our presenting sponsor, which is the Black Business Investment Corporation, or better known as the BBIC, and Pathway Capital. I'd like to introduce our presenting sponsor, one of the members of the team of the BBIC, Miss Markeisha Johnson, who is the office manager there, and she will be introducing our host sponsor and presenter today. Markeisha?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Markeisha Johnson. I am the office manager for Palm Beach County Black Business Investment Corporation and Pathway Capital Funding. We are your local CDFI, which is a community development business lender. So we lend to Black-owned and controlled businesses located in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. And we also lend to other minorities in low to moderate incomes located throughout Palm Beach County as well. You can find us on all of our social media platforms. I will list the information in the text box. Or our emails, or website, which is Palm Beach County BBIC.biz. And I will list that in the chat as well. We welcome you. We hope you have a great message coming up, and we are excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Markeisha, for those opening comments. Now, I think we're going to move to our presenter, Mr. Keene Urquhart, who is from Whiting Turner. And I'm going to read a little bit of something about this young man. I can say personally that I've seen him over the last year or so everywhere I go. So I know that he's out there in the community networking and so forth. But Keene is a graduate of Florida A&M University. He has been working with Whiting Turner for 19 years. Wow, he doesn't even look a day over 19 to me. Keene has managed many multi-million-dollar projects, including mall renovations, parking garages, condominiums, life science facilities, data centers, and infrastructure. When Ken is not working, he enjoys spending his time with his wife and three young children. And so with that said, Keenan, you are absolutely on. You can go ahead and share your screen and proceed with your presentation.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me share my screen here. Okay. Let me get this here. You guys can see my presentation? No, it's not on the red screen. Hold on one second.
No,
Hold on 1 second. Stop sharing. Let me change the next screen. Share. No. There it is. Share. Here we go. Awesome. Hi, everybody. This is the Ask an Expert series. Once again, my name is Keene, graduated from FAM, been with Whiting Turner for over 19 years. Just want to let you know a few things about the company. Whiting Turner was founded in 1909. We're over 100 years old. We have offices throughout the United States, including Puerto Rico. We have over 4,500 full-time employees. We are financially sound and debt-free, and we have a huge bonding capacity, which is typically very attractive to our owners and developers that we could bond a project. We do have 5 locations in Florida. Our first office, established in 1974, was Fort Lauderdale. Then we branched off to Orlando, Tampa. Jacksonville is more recent, and our newest office is in West Palm Beach, which was opened during the pandemic in 2020. We are located on the corner of Banyan and Olive in the Wells Fargo building. So just, we are a small office. We are looking to expand
An
into.
echo.
Sorry, you said there's an echo? We are looking to expand. Some of the Florida stuff that we've done in Florida, we do a ton of theme parks. Most recently, we did the Star Wars for Hollywood Studios. We do a ton of theme parks in SeaWorld and Epcot. We do higher education, University of Miami, Florida State, and UF. We do a ton of airport work for like baggage claims and things like that for JetBlue and Southwest. Also, we do malls, senior living facilities, life sciences, and data centers, just to name a few. So what I do is construction management. You know, the definition I have here is a professional service provided to an owner or developer with effective maintenance of the project schedule, cost, quality, safety, scope, and function. So here's kind of a org chart of a project team. The main one being the project owner is the main focus. The project owner goes out and hires an architect and a construction manager to build his project. The architect is responsible for the design team. So they hire the structural engineer, the landscape engineer, the electrical engineer, everybody that puts together the design. And me as a construction manager, I hire all the subcontractors, the electrician, the plumber, the site work guy, everybody to build the project. Some of the different types of construction methods mostly are the design build, CMAR, and design bid build. Design bid build is the most common. This is when an owner and an architect put a set of drawings out on the internet to bid. A ton of construction managers go out and bid the project, and typically the lowest bidder is the one that's awarded the project. The downside to this method is it tends to turn into a lot of change orders at the end, and it's definitely very much unpredictable. The design build method is when an architect and a construction manager, we team up under one contract and we bid a project under one contract. So a developer may have an idea of what they want, and then and some specifications. And then we go out and we put together the constructability, the schedule, and with the designer who puts together the design. And like I said, it's all under one contract. The construction manager at risk or guaranteed maximum price is the one that we most like to do. This is what we're doing out here in Tamarind. It's when the construction manager, myself, is brought into the pre-construction process. We work with the owner and the architect to identify and provide design concerns and provide some solutions to address those concerns. We put together a constructability. We do a constructability report on it. We identify budget constraints and scheduling concerns. The team usually put together some allowances for just in case or unforeseen situations. And then we have a contingency budget. This way it mitigates change orders. So like I said, it's the most preferred. It's more of a team building effort. And usually it provides a better service to the owner and the architect. So the way White & Turner is set up, we have an office side and a field side. The project manager column, we typically, when you start off as a project engineer for the first 1 to 2 years on a project. Then going from 2 to 3 years, you end up as an assistant project manager. And then from 3 to 5 or higher, you're a project manager. And then we have the field side that goes through the same curriculum. The difference with the office side, we mostly handle the buildings. The field side, they're out in the field with the guys, the field laborer, the superintendents for the contracts, and they're making sure everything's being installed correctly. So this chart I'm showing is, our competitors, they typically break up their team into different departments. So they will have a sales team that would bid and sell you a project. Then they'll have another team that puts together a schedule. And then they'll have another team that go out and build it. And none of the teams ever talk to each other and don't know what the other one promised or what was promised in the past. And then there's a lack of communication. The way White & Turner is set up is me as a project manager, I'm with you from the beginning of the project, the sales, I put together the budgets, I do the phasing, I do the scheduling, I do all the submittals and procurement, I build the project, and I'm the one handing you the keys at the end. So I'm on this project throughout the entire process. So whatever I say at bid time is what you're gonna get at closeout time. Here's a few pictures of my experience with White & Turner. This is just a few of them. The first project I did as a project engineer was the Venture in Aventura. This is made up of 2 buildings, a 7-story in the back and a 11-story, which is the one that's facing us right now. It also has a 4-story parking deck in the middle. This project was made up of over 500 units. It took us 19 months to build, and it was over a $54 million budget. On this project, I handled all the exterior, which was the concrete, the block, the windows, the railings, everything on the exterior of the project I made up with my superintendent. There's usually another team, a project manager and superintendent that does all the interior. They do all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, drywall, doors, hardware. They do all the interior. And then usually the project manager or another team, they do all the exterior, the landscaping, the sidewalks, the road work, and they do the exterior. So that's typically how a team is put together on White & Turner, and these are the type of projects we do. Sorry. Next project, this was when I was an assistant project manager. I did the Lofts 2. This is in downtown Miami. The unique one with this project is right through the middle of the project, between the first 9 floors, is a people mover or a train that goes right in through the project. You can see this in downtown Miami. It is made up of the Miami high-rise landscape. Like once again, I was handling the exterior, which was, the brick, the concrete, the stucco, the railings, the paint, everything on the exterior was my priority. Then there was another team that did the interior, the punch list, and then another team that did the exterior, the sidewalks, the exterior pools. There's also another pool at the top deck there that they handled. So this project was 36 stories, almost 500 units. It took 30 months to build and was a $51 million project. This project here that I have was in St. Louis. This was done in about 2012. This was a 98 unit project. It was only $4 million, took 11 months. It was just myself and a superintendent on this project. The unique part of this project is this building was over 100 years old, but they gave us, it was fully occupied. They gave us 7 empty units. And what we would do is we would build out those 7 empty units within 2 weeks. Then we'd have 7 residents move into those units, and then we'd work in their 7 empty units, 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. We'd be rotating people out. And then if somebody got evicted, we would add an extra unit to try and get the project done a little faster. So that was the unique part with this building. It was a lot of coordination and a lot of interaction with the residents and the manager and the property managers for the property. Now, some of our more local experience before I get into the Tamarind project, we did Morris Life in West Palm. We also built City Place in West Palm. We did the waterfront docks a few blocks up from Banyan over here on West Palm, and a few others in West Palm. We're doing a life science church. I know we did some of the malls in this area and things of that nature. So now getting into the Tamarind Avenue project. This project, what I'm showing you here is our phasing plan. Area 1 in red is 7th Street, which goes from Tamarind Avenue all the way to Carver. Area 2 goes from Banyan to 7th, and Area 3 goes from 7th to Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. This project was slated to be a 40-month project, which started in March of 2021, and was originally slated to be completed by May of 2024. So it was originally slated to be completed in May of 2024. We have had some delays, but right now we're currently still within our project schedule. So what I wanted to show you here was something that happened. This happened literally a month before we even touched ground. We were slated to start in March of 2021. And right before we got started, the pipe collapsed or broke, and it created this huge moon crater sized hole in the ground. This happened at about 11 o'clock on the corner of 2nd and Tamarind. This caused flooding to spread from 2nd all the way to 6th Street. The water pressures for the nearby residents and businesses dropped significantly all the way into downtown. It took workers 4 hours to repair. Like I said, there was a ton of flood damage to properties and vehicles. It didn't make the city go into a boil water notice, which meant they advised customers not to use the water to brush their teeth, cooking, dishwashing, ice makers, or any of that. The mayor had told the press at the time that this was due to the 100-year-old water main, and basically it was an old water main that collapsed, and that's why this issue happened. Sorry. So here's another picture of that water main that failed. And then also my project description. We're doing approximately 1 mile of work. We're upgrading this 100-year-old 24-inch water main to a new 30-inch water main. We're upgrading all the underground utilities, including the storm drainage, sanitary sewer and water main systems. We're taking all the overhead lines for FPL, Comcast cable, AT&T, and cellular lines. We're taking it all from overhead lines to underground lines, which would be great for when the hurricane comes. You know, you won't have all these lines falling everywhere, and it will definitely help with any disconnectivity during hurricane season. So all the overhead lines are going to be going underground. And then, you know, we're upgrading all the site work, the flat work, the roadways, the electrical light, site lighting, landscaping, and irrigation. Everything should be upgraded during this project. So here's some pictures of the before and after. The top left is the current condition of the intersection of 7th and Tamarind. The new bottom right condition is what we plan on doing. We're going to be doing all new decorative paving, striping, all new trees and landscaping in the area. We are going to be narrowing the streets, so it will be a lot more pedestrian friendly for people to walk and shop in, you know, the area. So that's what our plan is. That's how it's going to look when it's all said and done. And then there's going to be nice decorative lighting and no more overhead lines. Here's another shot. Top left is our current condition at Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard intersection. And the bottom right is our new condition. Once again, upgrading, huge upgrades to the landscape, narrowing of the streets to make it a lot more pedestrian friendly and a lot more pedestrian appeal. As Bruce had mentioned, you know, Whiting Turner is very much trying to be very active in the community. We do try and keep the residents updated with a lot of with what's going on with the project. Not only do we, you know, knock door to door, we also send out mailers every couple of months. We also put together community outreach events. We had one in January. We had another one in March. We are going to be sponsoring the Blues and Brews July 4th weekend. We do a ton of things with Cityside Suites. You know, when they had their first Fridays, we were a sponsor on that. You know, on the bottom, I met with the Police Athletic League and kind of let them know what's going on with the project. I went through the same type of presentation. We've sponsored with the American Legion. We've done toy giveaways with Cityside Suites. And then we've done a ton of things with Frank Hayden and his wife, as well as the My Teacher, My Hero. We sponsored that event. We sponsored a ton of things for the Black Chamber, including the 5K MLK Walk and the Ascension Awards. So we definitely try to not only keep the public informed, but we also want to keep our name out there and give back to the community that we're working in. So I also wanted to mention that we do offer internships. You know, if you know anybody that's in college that is looking for a degree and that's pursuing a degree in construction management, engineering, or architecture, you know, we offer interns. We're always looking for interns every summer, even during the school year. We're always have interns here. And even if you have a student that's not sure, they're still undecided. You know, I originally went into school. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And construction management has turned out to be a huge, great opportunity, you know, for myself and for, you know, younger Black kids. You know, we hire a lot from Florida A&M and of course, all the Florida universities, as well as nationwide. So like I said, if you know anybody that's looking for an internship, that's in college and pursuing any of those degrees, or even undecided, you know, please reach out to me and I will be happy to place them in an internship and see if construction management is something they'll be interested in. Next, I also wanted to bring up, can you guys still see my screen? Oh, no, it's not showing that. Let me update my screen sharing, sorry. Let me bring this over here, sorry. I wanted to go over our phasing plans with you guys as far as some of the delays that we're experiencing right now. hold on, stop sharing. And then let me open this up and share again. Window, here we go. Share. So, okay, if you guys could see my screen here, this is our phasing plan right now. Like I mentioned before, our contractual dates was from March to May of 2024. Right now, we've had many delays in the area. And this is our mailer that we typically send out every 2 months. We are sending one out in the next couple of weeks, which shows right now March 2025 end date. We are working on ways to bring that schedule in, and we're still trying to meet a November 2024 end date. First, right here, I wanted to show you guys so basically with this schedule. So there's a water treatment plant over here. Our original issue is here. This is the water treatment plant. We had a 42-inch line that went through 2nd Street, and there's a property right here on the corner of 2nd and Tamarind. When we were about to do this work, we met up with the water treatment plant, and we were trying to put together an emergency plan. Hey, in the event that there's a water main break, we need somebody to man the water valve on the treatment to shut it down, because if you don't shut it down, it could be a catastrophe. So when we were about to do this work and we were planning it, it turns out when we met with the water treatment plant, they said they do have a valve, but they haven't operated it in many years, probably over 15 years. And they weren't sure if they shut it down, if it would turn back on. So at this point, this was outside of our scope. We had no idea of what the situation was at the water treatment plant. So we had to redesign this area. So this is what caused the original 10-month delay. So if we had proceeded with this work, and for any reason, if there was an emergency and they were not able to shut off the water, this whole area would have been flooded and would have been a huge issue. They would not have been able to stop the water until the water was pretty much empty, until the water treatment plant was empty. So this is the water treatment tank. This is going down that 2nd Street here. The 40-inch line was right here, and we were very much concerned with this property right here. So we had to stop work. The engineer had to put together a new design that added this line right here. So what's going to happen now is we're going to install this new bypass, 30-inch bypass. At that point, once we have this installed, we're going to shut off all the connections to this line right here. And if the water shuts down and they can't turn back on, that's fine. We will still continue to serve downtown and all the residents with this new line that we're currently installing. So that's what caused the original 10-month delay, was the city and the architect having to redesign this, because this was completely not a part of our original scope and was completely unforeseen. However, once we got this back up and running and put together a plan on installing this work, we started out here in February, and then to doing some testing and installing of some temporary lines. In April, once we started digging in this area, all of a sudden a liquid started to come out from underneath, which was, we don't know what it is. They tested it and it wasn't largely contaminated, but it was something we don't want to get into the water treatment system. So once we started this, so after the 10-month delay, the second we started to do our work and install our shores, we now ran into potentially contaminated materials or suspicious materials coming up from under the ground. So, we immediately notified the city. The city came out, did some testing on this area. We bermed it out so none of that material is going to get into the water treatment system. And right now we're waiting on the city to provide a removal a plan on how we remove it. They're contracted with Artemin, which is an engineer that handles pollution and contamination and things of that sort. And they currently have their plan in with the Florida Department of Environmental Protective Services. So FDEP is currently reviewing Artemin's plan on mitigating this condition. And we're hoping in the next week or so that we're going to be back on site, removing all the contaminated materials and getting back into work. So, like I said, we had a 10-month delay. And now this started April 12th is when this problem came up. And it's already 2 months later and it's holding up the job. So that's our other thing. Right now, what our potential plan is to open up the streets from 3rd all the way to 7th, turn on all the fire hydrants, get that fire hydrants going. And then, so from 7th all the way to about 3rd, we're planning on opening this line back up and jumping into this area as soon as possible. So we're potentially going to have 2 crews out here, 1 crew working on 2nd Street and fixing everything north and getting that road up and running, which we're hoping to have that done by December. And we're going to hopefully have another crew getting into 8th Street and working their way north sooner rather than later. We're hoping to be in there by July, but we still have to meet with the fire marshal to see if he's okay with that. So that is something that we proposed that we're still reviewing to try and meet our November 2024 to try and meet our 2024 completion date. But if the fire department doesn't approve it, then right now, our worst case scenario, we're still on track to meet a March 2025 completion date. So that is everything regarding the Tamarind Avenue project. Is there any questions?
Before we go into Q&A, thank you, Keene, for that nice presentation. And I think we all know a little bit more about Whiting-Turner. And so I'd like to just make a couple comments in terms of if you have questions, you can either put it in the chat box or you can raise your hand and Tracy or I will acknowledge you. But we'd really like to have everybody come on the camera. I failed to mention that in the beginning, and we'll open it up for Q&A. And I think, Keene, you can stop sharing your screen and we'll entertain any questions. Then we're going to have closing remarks by our president, Mr. Joe Sanchez. Any questions out there?
Hi, yes. Hi, this is Felicia. I'm driving, but I'm at a stoplight. Okay. So I've got a question. All right, so I've got a question. Keenan, the substance that you all found was suspicious, that bubbled from the ground, the brown, whatever substance, possibly a mixture of all kinds of contaminants. How did you determine whether or not it got into the water at all, or other areas that would cause problems, such that it would make it like a brown field?
So yeah, so we were, like I said, we were putting in about 8 piles to support our work. And when we were drilling in our very last pile, this water started to come up. So we immediately had a vac truck come and suck out all of that contamination out and get that. So it did. And then right now you can see there's like an orange fence around it. And we have some, so right now we removed all of the oil that came up out of the ground. And in the event of rain, we have some berm material around the hole so it doesn't come up and go into it will create like a pool and then it will eventually evaporate, but it doesn't go into, and then we have berms at all these storm water locations in the nearby area so it doesn't get into the stormwater system. So what we think the issue is we think somebody might have buried a gas tank or an oil tank underground. And that's really what we think it is, that it's an oil tank that somebody buried underground. But we have not been, but once we identified suspicious material, it's not our job to mess with it. We call the city, and then the city comes in and handles it from there. So we kind of just stop. And then we, like I said, we put what we call berm, and we have some orange fencing and things like that. So it will never get into the stormwater stream.
With the amount of rain that we've been having lately, does that mean that those berms need to be changed out or something else to make sure that it's, whatever's saturated is saturated by now, but does that need to be changed?
Right. We inspect it on a daily basis to make sure that it is that there's no issues with it. But we do have aldermen coming out. They do come out and they test it to make sure that it is sufficient, and whether it needs to be changed or not would be directed by the city and aldermen.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Any other
Thank you
questions,
very much.
Lacey?
No, not that I can think of right now. Right now.
You did the most this time, Miss Smith Gordon.
Right, Miss Smith Gordon. Also, I know we've been inconveniencing her and her property, but we are trying to make sure that you are still able to drive in there, and we're trying to get back on track and try and alleviate the inconvenience as soon as possible.
Thank you for the question. I think we may have time for another question if we have one. If not, we're going to move forward to closing remarks by Mr. Joe Sanchez, the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Joe, and thank you for tuning in for another wonderful Wednesday Wisdom.
I appreciate you, Bruce, putting this for being our moderator today, and for the rest of the team, Tracy and Katrina and everybody else who helped make this happen. And thanks everyone for being with us. Especially thanks to you guys, Keene, for presenting today. And I look forward to Keene and Whiting Turner have been supporters of us, as he mentioned, for both the Ascension Awards and the MLK 5K. I hope I can count on you guys coming back.
For sure.
We'll be doing it again on January 20th, 2024. All I want to see you guys out there running to. All right. You bring out the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great family event. So no, thanks for sharing that information. I know people have a lot of questions what's going on. I'm a contractor myself, so I know all about the challenges that we face. Every project is unique. There's nothing, there's always surprises. The Chamber does appreciate our partners in Whiting Turner and others who are on the screen that I can see today. I hope you guys continue to support us and support what we're trying to do. Next year is our 20th anniversary. We continue to try to grow the Chamber and just prevent you with opportunities to network with each other and to learn and grow as well. So with that, do I turn it back over to you, Bruce, or does Tracy close this out?
No, I just wanted to add one thing. We are streaming live on YouTube, so you can always capture this replay on YouTube and share. Sharing is caring.
Thank you, Tracy.
Okay, so with that, we've concluded another Wednesday Wisdom. We appreciate all who participated and came on. And thank you, Keene, for a wonderful presentation once again. And we'll release you to continue the rest of your day. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. See you.
Have a great day.